Here comes the commercial. Good evening, I'm Tim Burt, and welcome to another webisode of Stop Wasting Money with Ineffective Advertising and How to Improve Your Commercials. I'm Tim Burt from timburtmedia.com, and if you'd like to ask a question tonight, a couple ways you can do it. There's a chat pop-out box on the upper right-hand side of the screen, and you can ask a question there. And you can also email me, timburtmedia@gmail.com. And if you email a question to me, I will answer it in the next show if I don't get to it tonight. Promise you. So, tonight I want to talk about something, kind of a quick recap of last week. Sean had sent me a question saying, how do you get a client to know what they should be talking about in their commercials? And we talked about what makes them different. And when you talk to a client and you finally deduce and you get them to see the light of what actually does make them different and how you should build your commercial around that core nugget, that fact, that's the core nugget. That is the most critical piece of information. And I believe last week I used a tire store for an example. Let's take tire store A, tire store B. And if you go to tire store A and they say, well, we do this, this, and this, and then you go to tire store B and you say, well, we do this, this, and this, the same three things that tire store A said, well, in your mind you're saying, well, that's what they said across the street. Well, why shouldn't I just go to them? They may have offered me a lower price. And tire store B, I guarantee you, will do this. Well, because we do X, Y, and Z plus A, B, and C and all sorts of other things. So when you get to that core nugget, and that is the most critical part of this whole thing. When you get to that core nugget, that is what you build your commercial around. So something I talked about on my blog this morning on WordPress, timburtmedia.wordpress.com. You should read that if you're not. An addendum to this. Something I talked about this morning is what I call the phantom message. And we've all done it. And it's not a reflection on you as the consumer or me. It's a reflection on the copywriter, the person who wrote the commercial, and whoever produced the commercial, or the person who got the information from the client in order to make the advertisement. And what do I mean by the phantom message? You ever watch a commercial and after the commercial's over, if the commercial piqued your interest and it's something that you might be interested in, and I don't know, pick anything. It could be I hate to keep using the car example, but that seems to work so well. Let's use the tire store example again. Let's say that you need new tires, and you see a commercial come on TV or comes on the radio, and it's talking about buy 3 tires, get 1 free, or buy a set of tires and we'll mount them and give you the rotation and the balance for however long you own the tires or however long you own the car, whatever the offer is. In the back of your mind, subconsciously, you are hoping that the commercial will touch upon the one area of service or the product that you need. So for instance, if you say, if you need new tires, and let's say that you need to get them balanced or you want them to get them rotated or whatever the case may be, you're hoping that the commercial says whatever it is you're looking for. And if it doesn't, that's where the phantom message kicks in. Or if they touch on it and it may not be exactly what you're looking for, you're hoping, this is kind of when you put words in your own mind. The phantom message is what I call, those are the things that are not in a commercial because either A, they don't apply, or B, the person who wrote it worded the commercial in such a way that led you to believe that it was actually in the commercial, and it may not be. So that's no fault of your own, you being the consumer. That error falls on the copywriter, the person who extracted the information from the client, or the client themselves, wording it improperly or poorly. Best case scenario, they word it poorly. And we've all done it. You hear a commercial and you think, wait, did they just say that if I buy a set of tires, the fourth one is $1, or so, and it could be, buy a set of tires and the rotation is $1, or we'll balance them and install them for $1. Could be. So when you question yourself after hearing that advertisement and you're thinking, wait, what did I just hear? We've all done it. I've done it. That's the phantom message. How do you avoid this? You avoid this by communicating your core message, what we talked about last week, as clearly and concisely as possible. Don't mix messages. Don't put things in there that could confuse or mislead the audience. When you do that, that is, well, it's just wrong on so many levels, and someone worst case scenario, someone could misconstrue it and potentially sue you, the business owner, or the copywriter, or the ad agency for false advertising. Then, of course, that's when people say, well, that's when you talk about those things in the disclaimer. In the disclaimer is the really fast part, restrictions apply, see store for details, offer ends 9/3/11, blah, blah, things like that. So that's where you have to really, really, really be careful in how you word your commercials. So the phantom message, not a good thing. The test that you do is you have to, after you write it, you go back and you listen to it and you think of it from the mind of the consumer, because after all, that's who's going to be spending the money. It's not your friends, it's not your mom, not your dad, it's not your family, it's not your coworkers, it's going to be the consumer. So you have to, the person I like to call Susie Cream Cheese, with her 2.5 kids in her minivan, will Susie Cream Cheese driving her 2.5 kids in her minivan understand it? And is it clear? Is it honest? Is it easy to understand? Is there any chance of confusion in your script, in your commercial, in your advertisement, even in your print ad? If there is, you got to start over and really redefine what that core message is. Whatever the offer is, you don't want to have any room for mischaracterization, misunderstanding, something to be misconstrued. That's the worst, because then what happens? Susie Cream Cheese will go into the tire store and say, well, I heard on your radio commercial, I saw on your TV commercial, I saw in your newspaper ad, and you might even bring the ad in with her, well, it says this. Well, this is the deal that I want. And then the manager or the poor kid behind the counter has to say, well, no, that's not really what that deal is. It's this. And then what happens? You get labeled, your business gets labeled and branded as, well, they lied to me. They lied to me, so I'm never going to go back there. They could give me stuff for free, and I don't care. When in fact, a few poorly chosen words in the wrong place could, that's what sets that all up. So, just a few well-placed and well-chosen words in the right place will help you avoid that. So, hopefully that helps. And again, if you have a script that you would like me to look at, I would be more than happy to take a look at it for you. And you can find my blog on WordPress at timburtmedia.wordpress.com, online timburtmedia.wordpress.com, and the website is timburtmedia.com. Do we have any questions tonight? We don't. Okay. And again, if you want to email a question, if you have a question, if you're watching this, you should have a question, and I would love to answer it for you. timburtmedia@gmail.com. That's TIMBURT media@gmail.com. Hopefully by next week this studio will be done. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I thank you for watching. The show has been recorded, so you can watch it again later. And any questions, please email me. And I'm Tim Burt, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you next Tuesday night.